in a diagrammatic representation. This is the first one is stable colloid and second one is unstable colloid. In case of stable colloid, whatever the particles are there, the particles are uniformly distributed throughout the dispersion medium. Some unstable colloids are there. Here sometimes the aggregation of particles. Aggregation means different particles are come together, and sometimes the sedimentation will take place. Different particles, they may settle rapidly. There is a formation of a sediment. Either the aggregation or sedimentation that may leads to unstable colloids. Whatever the we can say stable colloidal dispersion, whatever the particles are there in colloidal dispersion, that is uniformly distributed throughout the dispersion medium. That is the difference between the stable and unstable colloids. This is the diagrammatically representation. And here the colloidal dispersions means, I already told, the two phases are there. One is dispersal phase, second one is dispersion medium. That means the classification of colloids, that means according to the particle diameter of the dispersed particle. We can say depending upon the diameter of the particle, we are differentiated or classified three different colloids. Depending upon the diameter of the particle, because here the classification is based on a different way. This is the first classification. Depending upon the particle diameter. Number one, molecular dispersion, colloidal dispersion, and coarse dispersion. Coming to molecular dispersion is less than 1 nanometer. Colloidal dispersion is 1 nanometer to 0.5 micrometer. Third one is coarse dispersion greater than 0.5 micrometer. Depending upon the diameter of the particle. Here coming to molecular dispersions means these particles, because of size range is very small, we can observe in electron microscope. We can observe the particles in electron microscope only. And they can pass through the semi-permeable membrane and even filter paper also. Through the semi-permeable membrane and even filter paper also, these molecular dispersions are easily passed. But the particles do not settle or settled at the bottom. Even upon standing for a long period of time also, there is no sedimentation. The particles are not settled and they undergo rapid diffusion. That means, for example, molecular dispersion means ordinary ions and glucose. Ordinary ions and glucose in water, that is the example of molecular dispersion. Coming to colloidal dispersions means the particles not resolved in ordinary microscope can be detected by electron microscope because the size range is very less. They can pass through the filter paper but not through the semi-permeable membrane. SPM is nothing but semi-permeable membrane. Okay, and in this case also, the particles in colloidal dispersion, the particles can made settled by centrifugation method. By centrifugation process, whatever the particles are present in colloidal dispersion, we can made settling. But they are diffused very slowly. They are diffused through semi-permeable membrane very slowly. Example is colloidal silver sol, natural polymers, synthetic polymers are the example of colloidal dispersion. Coming to coarse dispersion, the particle size is 0.5 greater than 0.5 micrometer. Even these particles are visible in ordinary microscope. We can observe under normal microscope also. But whereas it is not possible in case of molecular dispersion and colloidal dispersion, where the electron microscope is required. But here, in the suspension, we can observe the particles even in normal microscope, and they do not pass through the either filter paper or semi-permeable membrane. Because of the size of the particle is greater, more, for that reason they cannot pass through the filter paper. And particles are settled due to under gravitational force. Immediately after some time, rapidly they settled at the bottom. Sedimentation takes place. Example is even normal emulsions and suspensions are the examples. Examples for here, suspension, emulsions are the, even red blood cells also comes under this example. Then here, based on the nature of interaction, the second classification of colloidal dispersions is based on nature of the interaction. There are three types are there. Number one, lyophilic colloid. Second, lyophobic colloid. Third, association colloid. Depending upon the nature of the interaction. What is lyophilic colloid, lyophobic colloid and association colloid? Lyophilic colloid, they are solvent loving particles. Solvent loving. That means the word means lyo and philic means colloid. That means liquid loving respectively. Liquid loving. In this system, the dispersed particles have greater affinity to the dispersion medium. They are more attracted towards dispersion medium. Because of that, we can say solvent loving colloids. Okay. And for this reason, the preparation of lyophilic colloid is very easy. Because there is an attraction will be there. Whatever the particles are there, they are attracted towards solvent. For this reason, the method of preparation is very simply, we can prepare the lyophilic colloids. Example is gums, gelatin, starch, albumin is dissolved in water, mixed with water. Even for example, starch, rubber, protein, these are all comes under few examples of lyophilic colloids. Coming to lyophobic colloids. What is lyophobic colloids? Lyo and phobic means liquid and fearing. That means liquid hating. That is solvent loving. But here liquid hating colloids we can call it as lyophobic colloid. But these are difficult to prepare. In case of lyophilic colloid, there is an attraction will be there. These particles are attracted or loving to the solvent. We can prepare very easily. But for the preparation of lyophobic colloid, it is difficult to prepare. Because whatever the dispersed phase is there, does not readily disperse easily with dispersion medium. For that reason, some special techniques are used for the preparation of lyophobic colloids. Whereas lyophilic is simple method, but here some special techniques or some special methods are used for the preparation of lyophobic colloids. For that, we require some stabilizing agent, some preservatives or preservation, we require some stabilization while your preparation of lyophobic colloids. Even by the addition of some electrolytes or by heating method or by shaking method, any technique we can use for the preparation of lyophobic colloids. Coming to third one, associated colloids. What are associated colloids? These colloids behaves normally like normal electrolytes. It behaves like a normal electrolyte at low concentration. But at low concentration, it acts as a normal electrolyte. But at high concentration, whatever the normal electrolyte, they become a colloids. They become colloidal dispersion. At high concentration, whatever the normal electrolyte, their appearance is at low concentration. But the concentration is increased immediately. They become colloids. These associated colloids are referred as a mycellase. We can also call it as mycellase. That means sodium stearate